it did. What? What is it? Oh yeah, it's another Whoa Wednesday with me, Mr. Goodie Grammar. I cannot thank you enough for spending your Wednesday with me. What are we going to dive into? Oh yeah, a couple more things that begin with W. Whoa! Today, we're going to talk about the most epic match of all time. That's right, we're going to talk about the difference between whose and whose. Oh! You ready to get into it? I know you are. But before we get started, let me go ahead and give you a little overview. Whoa! So, for this evening, I'm going to go ahead and start with a couple of little sentence shout-outs. These are sentences that you put into the different comment sections on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, any platform. And it was me pushing you to go ahead and utilize the content that I throw your way. So, if you're participating, you definitely get a shout-out. What are we doing after that? Oh yeah, we're going to go ahead and start it off with a little basket breaker. And then we're going to dive into a little radioactive waste where we're talking about whose versus whose. I'll give you a little practice, do a little IELTS check, and then stick until the end because you will see the Grammar Goodie sentence shout out of the week. Whoa! This is my favorite sentence that I just sipped up into delicious, delicious brew. So, is it you? Stick with me till the end. And then finally, we check out for the evening. Okay, I want to go ahead and get into it with some sentence shout-outs. The first sentence shout-out comes from, a classic OG grammar goodie, Age of the Aquarius. Age of the Aquarius's sentence is, the wicked countenance of Dracula struck a chord of fear in the school children. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Age of the Aquarius, you use countenance, facial expression, wicked facial expression, and that struck, guess what? Fear into the children. Whoa! Whoa! That was fear. Let's look at the second shout out. It goes to Andres Joe. Andres! What did you put? Well, Andres put, I accosted my horse for leaving its droppings in my new car. Not on the leather seats. Seabiscuit, my little pony, what were you up to? Ooh, Del Taco will do it to you. Great job to both of you grammar goodies for these incredible sentences. Like this, again, accosted. Verbally attacked his horse for pooping in the car. Alright, let's go ahead and jump straight into a basket breaker.
Uh-oh.
For this week's basket breaker, the question is, what is the most random item that you found? What is an item when you come across it, you go, whoa! What's that? That's crazy! Go ahead and write your answer to this basket breaker question in the comment section. Whether you're with me right now on Facebook Live or a little later on YouTube. Check it out and have some fun with me. I'll give you a second. Whoa! Alright, grammar goodies. Hopefully you got something crazy. Let me go ahead and give you my answer. as I click technology. So, the most random item I've ever come across is a calculus textbook written in Latin by a deranged platypus. Whoa, speaking in tongues there? Okay, platypus. And then calculus? Huh. I guess these animals might take over the world. Oh. So, that's my answer. What did you get? Make sure it's sprinkled in the comment section. So for now, I think we should go ahead and drink up some radioactive waste. Ah, delicious.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, the essential question that we want to answer tonight is, what is the difference between whose and whose? Huh. So by the end of this Wednesday, we'll go ahead and answer this together. Here's the thing. Whose and whose are commonly confused. That's why we're talking about it. And many people struggle with the difference between these two. However, by knowing their functions, it's actually pretty easy to tell when we use whose versus whose. Huh. Kinda put simply, as you'll see, whose, who apostrophe S, is a contraction that links the words who is or who has. Whereas whose, W-H-O-S-E, is the possessive form of who. Who? Whoville! We're living in Whoville with all these whos? Huh? Okay, let's go a little deeper. First, I want to talk about whose. Whose. W-H-O apostrophe S. Well, first of all, you should know that W-H-O apostrophe S is something called a contraction. No, not where babies are kicking your stomach. A contraction is a shortened form of a word or a group of words. Just taking those two words and putting them into an easier little form. For example, we can say he's, H-E apostrophe S, which means he is, or there, for they are. You see that the apostrophe S and the apostrophe R-E right here shorten up the words is and are. So putting two words together. Whoa! Just a short and little lazy way of saying things. I love contractions. So, when it comes to whose, W-H-O apostrophe S, an apostrophe always separates contractions. So in this case, W-H-O apostrophe S stands for who is or who has. Who is or who has. This is very important because in both of these we have a pronoun and a verb. Contraction, putting those two together. They're just shortened. So whose can be either who is or who has. Let's go ahead and see how whose is used in a couple of sentences. Example 1. Let's say that we're not using whose as a contraction just yet. Our original sentence is, who is going to help me bake the cake? Last time I did that, I put it on broil. It wasn't good. Anyway, let's go ahead and say that we want to use the contraction whose. We want to put who is together. So I can get this sentence. Who's going to help me bake the cake? Who's going to help me? So, whose is just a shortened way of saying who is. Who is going to help me compared to who's going to help me? It's quick and to the point. Alrighty, let's go ahead and look at another example. Who's in the running for prom queen? Who's gonna win? Brenda? Alex? Dino? Who knows? So, who is in the running for prom queen? Here we have who apostrophe s. Who is? Just like last time. Who is in the running for prom queen? So always just ask yourself, is there a verb that is attached to it, shortened? And you'll see how we'll compare them, the who's and whose, the different forms, a little later. But now, you can't just drink that up. You need to make sure to practice. So, here's what I want you to do. Use whose in an original sentence. That's all you need to do. Use whose in an original sentence. Make sure you're using this form, the WHO apostrophe S, to master it. What are you waiting for? Get to it. Whoa! Alrighty. What did you write down? Again, make sure to go ahead and post it into the comment section. I want to know. And it helps you practice each concept. So, I can't wait to read them. And with that, let's go on. Alrighty. Next, we're going to get into the other whose. W-H-O-S-E. Whose? Well, basically, whose is the possessive form of who. It is where who owns something, belonging to whom. This is why people usually get tripped up. In English, you'll usually see apostrophe S in order to indicate possession. However, in the case of who, we use W-H-O-S-E to show possession. And let's dig a little deeper. For example, whose backpack is blocking my way? Whose backpack? Right here, it's showing possession. Someone has a backpack. Whose backpack? Who? Because I don't know, but they do own a backpack. If I were to put W-H-O apostrophe S, guess what? That is going to be who is backpack is blocking my way. Or who has backpack is blocking my way. That doesn't flow, does it? No. So, always ask yourself when trying to decide, should I use apostrophe S or W-H-O-S-E? Go with the W-H-O-S-E because you can break those contractions apart to see if it fits. Let's look at another example. Whose cutlery did the raccoon steal? Ooh, mischievous little raccoon. Up to no good. Once again, you'll see that someone owned something, or in this case, took something. So, whose, in this case, shows possession. If I were to say, who is cutlery did the raccoon steal, that wouldn't make sense. So whose, in this case, is showing possession. That's the difference between the two. One is a contraction, and the other shows possession of the word who. Ha! I wonder how many times I'm going to say who tonight. Please, someone, go ahead and make sure to watch the entirety of this video and tell me how many times I said who or whose, either or, in this video. Okay, so I think it's time for you to go ahead and practice. Here's what I want you to do. Use whose, W-H-O-S-E, in an original sentence, and boop, plop it into the comments. Think you could do that? Use whose in an original sentence? I know you can. Get to it! Whoa! Alrighty. What'd you come up with? I can't wait to read it. Again, whether you're with me right now on Facebook, or if you're catching this a little later on YouTube, make sure to participate. Ha! Alrighty. Now, I think it's time we ask for some employee assistance.
We need some employee assistance.
For this section, here's what I want you to do. You will be given various sentences, and each sentence has a blank or blanks in it. Go ahead and determine which whose is best to fill in that blank. Again, determine between each of the whose who should best fill in a certain blank in a given sentence. Think you could do that? Fill in the blank? Let's do it. Question 1. Whose or whose? Blank hiding the eternal scepter of the gods. Again, blank hiding the eternal scepter of the gods. What do you think? Whose or whose best fills this in? Okay, what'd you get? Here's the answer. The answer to question 1 is whose. But which one? W-H-O''S. Who is hiding the eternal scepter of the gods? 1 down. And let's go to our second question. Whose or whose? Brayden, blank, mother is a nurse, gets squeamish at the sight of blood. Ooh, that blank really just kind of throws off the flow. So we have Brayden, blank, mother is a nurse, gets squeamish at the sight of blood. Are we going to use whose or whose? Take a second. Alrighty, what'd you throw into the comments? I bet it's, whoa, crazy, and correct. Because we have Brayden, whose, W-H-O-S-E, mother is a nurse, gets squeamish at the sight of blood. Let me reread that. Brayden, whose mother is a nurse, gets squeamish at the sight of blood. Here we have whose mother. Maybe we might put an M. Ooh. Brayden, whose mother is a nurse, gets squeamish at the sight of blood. So here, since it's showing possession, it's that. Alrighty, let's do this. I do not know blank responsible for framing the Kool-Aid Man, but I'm going to find the culprit. Let me do that again. I do not know blank responsible for framing the Kool-Aid Man, but I'm going to find the culprit. Is it whose or whose? What'd you come up with? I'll go ahead and give you the answer. It's whose. W-H-O''S. I do not know who is responsible for framing the Kool-Aid Man, but I am going to find the culprit. Let me read it one more time all the way through. I do not know who's responsible for framing the Kool-Aid Man, but I'm going to find the culprit. So here we have who is responsible. So that is the correct answer. Let's go to question 4. Blank Tiffany's new partner. They make such a dynamic couple. Blank Tiffany's new partner. They make such a dynamic couple. Which whose are we going to use? Which whose are we going to use? Which whose are we going to use? What do you think? What do you think? Which whose are we going to use? Dang, that's a new jingle, everyone. Out this January. It's not. What do you think? Go ahead and fill in the blank. Okay, I'll go ahead and give you the answer. The correct answer to this is whose. W-H-O''S. Who is Tiffany's new partner? They make such a dynamic couple. Who is Tiffany's new partner? Just shortened. Who's Tiffany's new partner? If we put whose as the possessive, it wouldn't make sense. And now, question 5. Blank spreading lies about me, and blank right it is to do such a thing. So, we have a double whoa! Blank spreading lies about me, and blank right is it to do such a thing. Oh! Lies? Slander? Oh! What do you think? Whose or whose? Let me give you a tip. You're going to use each one in here. Alright, I'll go ahead and give you the answer. Who is spreading lies about me? And whose right is it to do such a thing? Here we have who is spreading lies about me as our first little question, and whose right? Who has the right? Who possesses the right to do such a thing? That's our answer. How'd you do? Did you get all 5 correct? I know you did. Great job. And with that, I think it's time that we go ahead and do an aisle check to see what you learned. Here's what I want you to do. In the comment section, go ahead and create an original sentence that uses both whose and who's in it. Think you can do that? Create an original sentence that uses whose or whose? I know you can. Get to it! Whoa! Alrighty, grammar goodies. How did it go? Pretty great, right? Whoa! Whoa! I just got so excited by it I had to spin in a couple of circles. Well, I know it's absolutely fantastic. So, great job. But sadly, it's time for reminder, upcoming, we have the Word of the Week every Sunday. And live lessons every Wednesday. What are those called? Oh yeah, they're called Whoa Wednesdays. Content episodes out regularly, sentence shoutouts out regularly, and also, what do you want me to teach you? Make sure to put that in the comments so we can have a Wednesday party together. Yeah! And now, the moment you have been waiting for. It's time for the Grammar Goodie Sentence Shoutout of the Week. Ah! How do you get the Grammar Goodie Sentence Shoutout of the Week? I'm so happy you asked. You get it by participating in the comment section on any of our platforms. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. If you're participating and your sentence makes me laugh and it pops, I'll go ahead and give you the coveted Grammar Goodie Sentence Shoutout of the Week. Who got it this week? Can I have a little drum roll, please? It goes to, Ashley Miller. Ashley, you did it. You get the Grammar Goodie Shout Out of the Week. Let's go ahead and look at Ashley's sentence. Ashley's sentence is, Pumpkin got accosted by New York for spitting on her. Although I can't condone violence, don't spit on people. And what a great, fantastic, iconic scene of reality television. Truly fantastic. Not the act, but the scene. Gotta love good TV. And you know what you also have to love? Ashley Miller and her fantastic sentence using the word of the week, accost. Pumpkin got attacked, verbally and physically, by spitting on New York. It'll do it. So, great job, Ashley. You got the Grammar Goodie Shout Out of the Week. Boom! And thank you so much for your participation. Alrighty. And make sure to follow us on all our platforms, the website www.mrgoodiegrammar.com, and Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Come do all the challenges with us on all our social media. But finally, it seems that this Wednesday has come to an end. Anyway, my name is Mr. Goodie Grammar. Thank you so much for dropping by General Grammar. And come in anytime. I'll see ya